explain to you guys how comedy works. This is how comedy works. First, there's a setup, and then there's a punchline. Let me explain. The setup is when a comedian will use his talents and resources to seize any opportunity to ensure that you, the audience, are moving in the same direction. The punchline occurs when he changes that direction in a way you're not expecting. When you catch on to this change, you've received the punchline, and the results are revelation, fulfillment, and joy expressed through laughter. Let me give you an example.
So there's a club in Los Angeles. When I moved to Los Angeles and I was brand new in comedy, there's a club there that it's like the best club in the country. It's called the Comedy and Magic Club. It's actually in Hermosa Beach. This club is extremely hard for a comedian to get into. The way I got into this club is a guy named George Wallace saw me when I lived in New York. He knew I was funny and clean. So when I moved to Los Angeles, he took me to the Comedy and Magic Club. Now, he couldn't get me on stage because it's way too prestigious of a club. They have to know who you are. So he got me into the green room. I'm in the green room, and suddenly, brand new in town, and I find myself in the green room with some soldiers in comedy. There's George Wallace, Gary Shanley, Jay Leno. I'm brand new in town. And at the time, a football player got hit in the eye with a flag, and he lost his vision in one eye, and he was suing the league for $400 million. Now, all of these guys are helping Leno on that joke subject for the monologue for the Tonight Show on NBC. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just happy to be in the room sharing French fries with these dudes. But your gift will make room for you. So then they got quiet and they all looked at me and I'm thinking, oh snap, this is an opportunity. So I was like, all right, let me see if I got this right. He got hit in the eye with a flag, he lost his vision in one eye, and he's suing the league for $400 million. He's not gonna see half of it. First, let me explain this. I'm the type of comedian, like I'm observational. Like I pay attention to things like college students. Take somebody who goes to a nice school like the University of Southern California. Ask them what school they go to. You get a nice, quick answer. What school you go to? USC? New York University. You get a nice, quick answer. What school you go to? NYU? Ask somebody to go to community college. You get a much longer response, don't you? What school you go to? Well, see, right now, what I'm doing, I'm gonna get a couple credits, right? Then my financial aid is supposed to come through. Then I'm gonna transfer, man. They say school kills creativity anyway, man. I feel vulnerable. Is Brene Brown around, man? I feel really vulnerable right now.
And people ask me questions, Michael Jr., what makes you laugh? And what makes me laugh really is awkwardness. Did you feel it just now? Like it's the best. Like I'll look for awkwardness. Like I'll do things like I'll get on the elevator, right, when there's like 6 or 7 people on there, and I'll let the door close behind me, and I won't turn around. And then I'll say something random like, it's Tuesday, but it's really Friday, and everyone gets off on the next floor. And then I just giggle my way to the top. You ever be on a job interview and partway through you realize, I don't want to work here. Yo, at that point, don't bail on the interview. You should have fun. Flip the whole interview. They say something like, so tell me a little bit about yourself. You're like, you know what? You go first. Let me ask you a question. Where do you see me in 5 years? Because they always ask those weird questions. They ask questions like, they'll say, so tell me about a time you had a disagreement with a coworker, and then tell me how you worked it out. Like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So I had a colleague who actually took credit for some work I did. Like, they didn't do anything on the project. I fully did it, and they took all the credit. So what I did, right, I walked over to their cubicle, right? And then fast forward, here I am, you know? Yeah.
So I am not politically correct. I'm just gonna tell, I know I do comedy, but I'm not, it's just too much work. I'm just telling you. You gotta watch the news and know the language. I just believe if you put the right stuff in your heart, the right stuff will come out. So I never try to be politically correct. Some people work hard. I'm at a coffee shop. There's a white guy in front of me, orders a coffee. The lady in front of him is like, hey, how do you want it? He looked back at me and was like, African American, please. I was like, cool, let me get the Caucasian mocha. Let me get that, if I could. Let's get the Caucasian mocha, I guess. I'm trying to learn.
I was at a Starbucks, right? And the car in front of me paid for my Starbucks coffee. That was awesome. So you know what I did? I did a little prayer. I ain't hear anything. Pulled off with some free Starbucks. For real. 2 weeks later, I'm at the same Starbucks. Car in front of me pays my coffee. I was like, wow, that is awesome. Dude in the drive-thru was like, you don't understand. You're the 23rd car in a row. I was like, wow, for real? Pulled off with some free Starbucks. And here's the thing. I know some of you guys are thinking I'm being insensitive. I like to beg to differ. Is it possible that the only person who really gave was the person in the front? Is it also possible that everyone else just had a hard time receiving? I didn't have a hard time receiving. I pulled off with some free Starbucks. When I was in school, I used to struggle with my reading, right? My teachers tried to tell me I had ADHD. I ain't paying no attention, whatever. And my uncle would try to make me feel better, right? He'd try to make me feel better. He'd say stuff like, don't worry about it, nephew. We math people. He said, you probably gonna be a math genius like I was. You got at least a 40-40 chance. He was like, boy, listen, if I had a nickel for every time somebody tried to tell me my math was wrong, I'd have $2.83. I also want to do a public service announcement real quick. If you're a grown man and you have to point your toes and put your jeans on, you're making bad choices. I just want to throw that out there. I just like to say that sometimes. Yeah. You're making bad choices. I'm watching TV, right? I'm watching TV and this commercial came on. You've seen it before. It's a commercial where the old lady, she fell down and she's like, help, I'm falling and I can't get up. First thing I'm thinking, why don't the cameraman help her? He right there. He is right there. This next joke is one of my favorites because it's a time-release joke. Different people will get this joke at different times. Some of you immediately. Some of you, it's gonna take like 16 seconds. Some of y'all, not today. And that's okay. That's just where you are currently. That's okay. So I'm gonna do the joke, and once I do the joke, I want you to pay attention to the people around you and notice how they're getting jokes at different times and the pockets of laughter throughout the room, wherever you are. And if you're watching on a computer and you don't laugh, well, just wait a little bit. So here's the joke. So I'm thinking about opening up some restaurants in the north. Probably gonna call it African American Barrel. So I'm thinking about calling it. Oh, okay, just now, okay. Couple people faking it. Whew, that's funny right there. That is funny. Ooh, that's funny. People will ask simple questions, but I find them weird sometimes. This guy said to me, Michael Jr., where are you from originally? I'm like, originally? Huh. Well, I was conceived in Michigan. Yeah. Before that, I was with my dad. Then there was a swim competition, right? And then, and I won, which is crazy, right? Because currently I don't swim at all, man, but I used to be fast. Man, I was fast, man. That's preparation for the next Bible study y'all doing. That's all that is. But the Bible says about sex. This is going to be fun. I was like, God is like being in a car with a navigation device. You ever been in a car with a navigation device before? You ever been in a car before? You ever been in a car? Okay. It's like being in a car with a navigation device. If it says go 10 blocks and turn left, then you go 3 blocks and turn right. It doesn't abandon what you're supposed to do. It recalculates what you need to do to get to where you're supposed to be based upon where you are. The only problem is if you keep making the wrong turns, the road conditions may be different. They may be rougher and you're running out of time. So you have to be sensitive to listen to that voice to make the right choice about where you're supposed to be. And that voice sounds an awful lot like a coach because you haven't been practicing for nothing. It's game time.